Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Marina Grosu from Washington, D.C. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Pope Francis on Wednesday repeated his appeal for prayers for people suffering from wars in Ukraine and the Holy Land. Reaffirming closeness to the affected, the Pope said that war is always a defeat, and none other than weapon manufacturers gain from it. Meanwhile, Save the Children, an international charity organization, has appealed to world leaders to secure a ceasefire in the region. The director of the program in the Palestinian territory, Jason Lee, said that in every hour without a ceasefire, more children will have to pay the price. In a rare move, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres issued a warning to the Security Council about the global threat posed by the Israeli-Hamas war, as Arab states attempt to use this alert to pressure the Council into calling for a ceasefire. A concise draft resolution presented to the Council by the United Arab Emirates sought an urgent humanitarian ceasefire between Hamas terrorists and Israel in response to Guterres' letter. Meanwhile, video footage of what the Israeli Defense Forces alleged to be one of the biggest weapons stockpiles discovered in the Gaza Strip during the war was released on Wednesday. 62% of respondents to a Catholic Union survey said that the closure of churches during the pandemic period had a detrimental impact on their physical or emotional health. About 90% of the participants in the survey, which surveyed close to 1,000 people, thought that religious centers needed to be spared from future pandemic closures by deeming as essential services. The organization urged the inquiry chair to examine the options for shutting and reopening places of worship and is intending to use the poll results to bolster its evidence in the ongoing UK COVID-19 probe. With the recovery of 9 more bodies, the total number of people killed by the Indonesian volcanic eruption of Mount Merapi is now 22. The search for the missing 10, which was temporarily put on hold due to safety concerns, has resumed. When the eruption occurred, there were around 75 hikers in the area. Most of them were evacuated and are now undergoing treatment for burns. When the eruption occurred on Sunday, a 3-kilometer-long cloud of ash covered the surrounding towns. Mount Merapi, which means Mountain of Fire, is one of the most active volcanoes in Indonesia. The deadliest of Merapi eruptions occurred in 1979, claiming 60 lives. The Ugandan government criticized the United States for expanding visa restrictions for its officials, claiming that Washington is imposing an LGBTQ agenda over the African continent. The visa restrictions are targeting the officials that the U.S. believes are undermining democracy and suppressing so-called marginalized groups, including the LGBTQ community in the country. The ban on visa extensions was announced on Monday by U.S. State Secretary Antony Blinken, targeting unidentified officials. The U.S. placed visa restrictions on Ugandan officials after Uganda passed a law stipulating the death penalty for certain same-sex crimes. Warning that the United States is locked in a conflict of worldviews, Speaker of the House of Representatives Mike Johnson urged Christians to educate the next generation about the country's core values. He exhorted the faithful to continue trusting in God despite these difficulties. Johnson was addressing the National Association of Christian Lawmakers at the group's award gala held at the Museum of the Bible in Washington, D.C. on Tuesday. The event, titled Save the Nation, discussed topics such as gender ideology, sexuality, abortion, and reviving faith in America. During the event, Johnson was conferred with the NACL American Patriot Award for Christian honor and courage. An Amnesty International report released on Wednesday revealed the horrific acts of rape and violence committed by the Iranian security forces towards men, women, and children who are arbitrarily detained following the Woman Life Freedom protest in 2022. The report documented the harrowing ordeals of 45 survivors who were subjected to rape and other forms of sexual violence by the intelligence and security forces. According to the report, the Iranian government has not yet charged any of those officials who carried out the heinous crimes. Despite sharing their findings with Iranian authorities in late November, Amnesty International received no response. Both houses of the Brazilian National Congress unanimously approved October 7th as the National Day of the Rosary of the Virgin Mary. The country's Vice President, Geraldo Alckmin, has signed the law authored by Deputy Simone Marquedo and reported by Federal Deputy Luiz Gastão. It was published in the Union's Gazette on Wednesday. The text of the law states that the Rosary is a spiritual weapon in the fight against evil, against violence, and for peace in the hearts of families, society, and the world. The law extols the Rosary as a symbol of faith, hope, and protection for believers, providing spiritual comfort and guidance in times of adversity. A statue of St. Joseph at the entrance of St. Mary Catholic Church on New Jersey Street in Indianapolis, Indiana, was found vandalized last week. According to an Instagram post of the Archdiocese, the incident has been reported to the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police Department. Parish priest Father Jeffrey Dufresne invited the faithful to pray the Litany of St. Joseph for the conversion of those who committed the act of vandalism and for peace in the city. Built in the beginning of the 20th century, St. Mary is a historic church listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Political advocacy group Catholic Votes Tracker reveals that at least 383 Catholic churches have been attacked across the United States since May 2020. Kidnappers of Catholic priest Kingsley Easy and his driver have demanded 10 million naira as ransom for their release in Nigeria's Imo state. Both of them were kidnapped on November 30th from Oriama Junction. They also shot an onlooker who was taken to an unidentified hospital. A parishioner revealed to Nigerian media Punch that the kidnappers had contacted the driver's wife on Sunday and Monday and made a demand of 50 million naira, which they reduced to 10 million naira on Wednesday. A Christmas carol gathering of 2,479 participants in Malaysia's Sarawak state was officially recognized by the Malaysia Book of Records for the largest gathering of its kind. The event, A Christmas Carol, Sarawak in Diversity, marks its beginning by lighting a Christmas tree in front of the Plaza Merdeka shopping mall. The state-sponsored program held on Sunday was emceed by Sarawak's Deputy Premier Sim Kui Huan, along with John Siki Tai, a minister in the Premier's department. The program, organized by Unit for Other Religions with the support of TV Sarawak, will be aired on December 23rd. Kuching Roman Catholic Archbishop Simon Poe and 5 cabinet ministers were the other dignitaries present. And those are your latest headlines. Join us again tomorrow for more. You can also visit us at swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.